Headphones. All right, maybe this works. So I am David Bourne, and I am doing some live streaming here on YouTube, and I'm on number 2 with this new setup, and so I have no idea if this is working or not. I hope it is. I'm looking at it as something I'm going to do to get practice, and hopefully, if it works, then it will be of service. If it doesn't work, then I can just delete it. So I'm going to go with it. So, what is this? I'm David Bourne, and I am really passionate about helping people share their stories on the internet. And why is that? Well, it's because I have a passion that I want to share on the internet and in the world. I've been a video maker for over 30 years. I love the medium, and I just want to bring my passion and what I love to more people. And so I also want to make content that I love and work with topics that I love on a regular basis. I want to be present in my life as much as possible and do that in a way that serves others. So if it resonates with you that doing meaningful work and sharing your vision with the world, if that's something that you're interested in doing, if you like digital tools or at least like the power they bring us, then this channel might be for you. This is a new series where I am basically just showing you what I use and why I use it. And I also do a good bit of coaching through the channel, or I plan to. I have recently started coaching and making that a priority in my life, doing coaching, being coached. It's super powerful. If you've ever created content and put it out there on the web, you probably know that it can get pretty difficult, especially if you start digging into personal topics or deeply meaningful topics. Oftentimes what happens is our shadow side, that part of us that we don't really typically deal with, it starts to wake up a little bit when we start to be vulnerable, and it tries to protect us, and that can lead to blockages. So blockages, limiting beliefs, all kinds of stuff. And what I believe is digging into that stuff is really interesting, and a great way to do it is to just start. So one thing I'm doing is looking at tools. So I'm going to switch over to the second screen and start with one of the most basic tools, which is represented here with note taking. And I don't know what you see, but I see a completely flipped screen. Isn't that interesting? The live stream is completely reversed. What in the hell? I hope that's not going to be like that. Dadgummit. It's always something, isn't it? All right, I'm going with it. The stream I'm sending out is not completely reversed. So, shoot, maybe the universe is telling me to stop. I'm not going to stop. I'm just going to have to trust that it's right. Boy, these things. Okay. So, anyway, I'm going to go through the list of these tools that I use on a daily basis and talk about why I love them and why I think they might be something that you might love if you're using it to expand your vision. First of all, notes. I'm an Apple user. Most of this software is cross-platform. So if you see Apple, chances are you know a Android or Windows or Linux version that you prefer. But I just wanted to bring up this Notes app because taking notes digitally is a big part of what I do. We live in a digital world, and that world is it's overwhelming. And taking notes is one way that we can deal with that overwhelm. And so I encourage you to take notes and to not only take them, but to make notes in a way that you bring more meaning to the content that you consume. Another way that I do that is to use other apps that I find are beautiful to use. This one called Bear, I think is just a beautiful app. It's a very basic text editor app that syncs really well to the cloud. use on my phone, on all my devices. It's sorry, I'm bumping the mic here. It's just a great, beautiful app, and it uses a tool called Markdown, which is a very simple text-based editor that allows you to do titles and links and tags. You can shoot that up to a website. A lot of forum softwares like Discord, they use Markdown. It's just a really great tool to learn to use. So I'm going to be encouraging people to use Markdown. Bear helps you with it. It helps you learn it. And another great note that I've used for years, I think I have something like 15,000 Evernotes, which I kind of brag about that like it's something great, but then I realized, I've been a digital hoarder and I'm not creating as much as I'm consuming. I have all this collection of stuff, and I love Evernote, and I love the power of being able to capture ideas and capture web pages and capture PDFs. And, I got a great digital library of my very own within Evernote, but what I'm learning is what's even better than that is a place where you can curate your own ideas. You can still bring things in, but kind of using the concept of a digital brain, I've switched to another piece of software. I just switched this weekend. It's called Obsidian. Rome Research is another app that is similar to this, where or maybe Notion. They're all a little bit different, but they're places where you can kind of build your digital second brain, a place where you collect, a place where you filter, you process, and you then hopefully, right, create and share and keep track. It's a way that you can have a digital Markdown based, very simple file based, Markdown based text editor that is super powerful, but also super simple. Another tool I use a ton is called Otter. It is a notes and transcription tool. It captures audio and turns it into text. And it's also a great place where you can keep notes and share notes. It's got some great social sharing tools. I use it. I will record hours at a time. If I go on a trip and I'm driving by myself, I will just talk and talk and talk. And I've gained so much from doing that. I also transcribe MP3s that I download from podcasts and different videos, and so I can capture that content. Overcast is a podcast app that I use a ton. There are lots of great ones out there. This one helps me take notes. It's not perfect for what I'm doing, but I will be sharing podcasts using Overcast. Google Calendar is something that I live by. If it's not in my calendar, I'm going to forget that I said I was going to do it. So thank the Lord I have something like Google Calendar. I do not yet have a personal assistant who's a human being who can help keep me on task, but I do have Google Calendar, and I probably always will. So I'm so grateful that there are tools out there like that help me stay organized digitally and help me do the things I want to do. And see, that's really what all these tools that I've mentioned so far are all about. It's not about the tool, right? I mean, yeah, I'm kind of fall in love with the tools, and I have a lust for tools and objects and cameras and audio gear, blah, blah, blah. But it's always about what you do with it. It's not about the tool. Another new tool that I've been using a little bit is one called Calendly. It helps schedule meetings with folks. I'm doing some of my coaching using Calendly, and another one like it called Book Like a Boss. And so that's something I might be talking about. So exciting to be able to manage data. This is one I cannot live without. LastPass, password manager. Oh my gosh. It is so helpful to be able to remember passwords in one place and for them to be secure and really good, tough passwords. So I'm going in the wrong direction. Now I'm going to need to look over. That may be the last one I have. All right. So those are just tools, things I'm excited to talk about. One thing I told myself is, what am I going to what am I going to say when I tell people about all these tools in this video today? And I thought, what I want to do is so much more about tools. I want to talk about tools, and I know that people come to YouTube looking for tools and tips. So I want to be able to help people do that. But another thing that really excites me is just ideas. And so I have become a life coach, and it's largely because of this person, Martha Beck. So I want to talk about her and some other people who've influenced me in the past few years in the realm of bringing your true self, your best self to your work. Because I've found that it's not about the tools, it's not about the techniques, it's more about your life and yourself. And where did my picture go? I think I need to turn my camera back on. There I am. So, Martha Beck and Jill Bolte Taylor are two authors that have really meant a lot to me in the last couple of years. I've been fascinated with the change cycle, the four parts of the self, the four parts of the brain, the psychology of the self. When you're doing storytelling and you are trying to reach people, it is so super helpful to have a good grasp on how the brain works, how people work, how you work, so you can get the stuff done that you want to do in the world. So Martha Beck and Jill Bolte Taylor have been invaluable for that. Another person who's helped me a ton in this realm is Alexander John Shaya. He is an author and a counselor and a spiritual guide who just has so much depth in the area of the four-part self and the four-part journey. He believes that the New Testament was based around this four-part change cycle idea, and I think he's right. I think it's amazing. So I've really been grateful for what he's done and taught me, and continues to teach me. Other folks that have been influences on me earlier on in my career and life, and my interest of just trying to figure out the world. I paid a lot of attention to Tony Robbins. Um, he's the guy that introduced the change cycle to me, although he didn't call it that. But um, the hero's journey is something that I've been fascinated with as a storyteller, and I just saw his in his work. I saw the hero's journey, and so he got me started. Another person I'm super excited about, especially now in 2022, is Mel Robbins. Man, if you haven't heard her podcast, daggum, please go check it out, because she is an amazing coach and author, and stuff she's talking about is just mind-blowing, and she's just so good at it. So Seth Godin, talking about folks who just really are inspiring and help in the realm of marketing, help you see marketing not as something that's salesy and ugly, but something that's beautiful and can be community focused and really focused on bringing your vision through this idea of culture and growing culture. So I really learn a lot from Seth and talk about Seth a lot. I mentioned the hero's journey, and this guy here, Donald Miller, who is a really great marketer, great marketer, business owner. He's got a big vision, and I've learned a lot from him, especially along the lines of understanding how the hero's journey can be brought into how we help people reach their visions, their goals, and meet their demons, meet their villains. And so I continue to learn more about him. In regards to marketing, Copy Blogger has been a big part of my understanding of how copywriting, the psychology of it, the sales techniques that come. I've given them a lot of money in the past, and they've taught me a lot about marketing, and I continue to really love them. John Morrow is a guy who just really impresses me and has taught me a lot, particularly about writing for the web and persuasive writing on the web. So he's someone I want to continue to look into and learn from. What an amazing guy. And the more of the spiritual realm, Rob Bell, another very prolific and interesting guy who is, known as a former pastor of a mega church, but really is now more of a mega internet um, pastor. Really doesn't make sense. But if when I have a spiritual question, a lot of times I'll turn to Rob Bell. He's got a great podcast, and all of his stuff I just love. Eckhart Tolle is someone. His face was here just a minute ago. Where did he go? Eckhart Tolle is another spiritual guy I look to who has really changed the way I understand really everything just by thinking about the present moment. And in fact, one of the big reasons I am talking right now on a live, perhaps flipped camera, I'm looking at a flipped stream and still talking. I just want to be in the present moment with this stuff. I love these ideas. I love these topics that I've been talking about. And he is a big reason why um, I am focusing on the present moment and doing these live setups. The Enneagram is a big deal for me in the sense that I believe it's a tool that we can help understand ourselves, and particularly our spiritual selves, and come to know our higher selves, and also by understanding other people. So Suzanne Stabile is a really a great resource if you want to learn more about the Enneagram. These guys on the metaphysical milkshake guys, Rainn Wilson, who you may recognize right here, is Dwight Schrute from The Office, and his buddy Reza Aslan, who is a author on religious topics. These guys are great. They're funny. They really bring a great message to. They're really targeting young adults, which I think is really important to look at their questions and their challenges. And so metaphysical milkshake is a great. How many times have I said great in this podcast? Probably 1,000. Anyway, they're great, and I hope to continue to look at them. Rich Roll is somebody who I have really learned a lot from. I'm not a vegan yet, but I am a flexitarian, which means I mostly eat plant-based. And that's largely because of Rich and his really great, there I go again, his great podcast, his really inspiring and interesting interviews, and just his approach I love. So, and I'm getting to the end of my list, Ologies. I brought in Ologies, which is Allie Ward's amazing podcast. I brought it in. I was looking at my list of people who influenced me, and Allie Ward is such an amazing podcaster, and her style is loose. It's funny. It's interesting. She gets great guests. She's got a lot of great audio that she mixes in, and I just love her style. And I think as I've looked at this group of folks that I am looking into to share their ideas, to share my ideas that align with a lot of the stuff that they're doing. Nature is a big, important one to me. That's why Allie Ward stood out. But nature, marketing, coaching topics, personal growth, copywriting, business, there are just so many different aspects that make life interesting on the web right now. And I think I'm done. I think this video is done. I wanted to go through this list and share and understand. They were kind of all in my head before I made this video, and now they're out there as separate ideas. And what I'm doing is I'm taking kind of a gut check, and I'm asking myself, does that feel right to be talking about that stuff and sharing those types of ideas and bringing my own ideas out into the world? And it does feel good. And that's an important thing to remember. Doing something, bringing it out into the world, like what I've hopefully done with this video, that is a way to make ideas more real. And taking action, sharing videos, writing blog posts, writing newsletters, sharing on Instagram, those things, those are those are not trivial things. Those are, for at least for people like me, none of that's trivial because none of it's easy. I don't do it because it's just fun. Now, hopefully, it is fun, but I'm doing it because I have a bigger vision that I want to bring out to the world. So that's who I want to talk to. If you're someone who's got a vision and the tools might be a little overwhelming, or you just don't know quite how to do it, I just want to show up on a regular basis and talk about it and encourage you to pursue it. If we're talking about tech, great. But what I'm always talking about is the possibility of all of us bringing our best selves, our biggest dreams, our deepest desires, our deepest values, aligning all of that I just talked about, aligning it with a deeper sense of purpose and meaning to the world, because I believe that other people have a lot to share, and I want to help encourage people to do that. So that's why I'm here. That's why you can find me posting more content like this out on the web. I'm David Bourne. You can find me at davidbourne.com. That's spelled Bourne. I hope I will see you out there, and I hope you'll connect. Cheers, and until next time, bye. Let me see if I can. Did this thing actually flip? Why is it flipped? I don't have a flip. I don't have a button that says I want to flip my video. Oh, well.